2016, it's that year that everyone universally agrees was the best year. It's one of those you had to be there moment. 2026 is the new 2016 has taken over the internet. BBC have spoken and nostalgia has kicked in. People don't want a moment. People don't want to go backwards, but we need to know what made 2016 so special and how do we use it to design a better 2026. So what was it about 2016? In 2016, I was a 14-year-old girl in year 9 trying to do my eyebrows and my winged eyeliner for the first time probably. And whether it was during classes, lunch breaks, or over the weekend, I was obsessing over the music at the time. There was a shared love for afroswing. Kojo Funds, Young Bane, Tion Wayne, Vianney, Notes, One Asen, NSG. When you heard that J5, you knew what was coming. If you were into grime and drill, Belly Squad, Skepta, Stormzy, Heady One, it was a big deal for Black rising stars to influence mainstream media with something true to them and culture rather than conforming to the traditional Caucasian style music. The truth is 2016 wasn't a solo year of success because we all know success takes time to build, but the art of familiarity was being built here. The respect for Black British culture was there, and ears were being accustomed to African rhythms. So Afrobeats only feels like the right next step. There wasn't a watering down of Pidgin English or Nigerian dialects. You either knew it, didn't know it, or tried your best to sing along. Malik Berry, producer of many hits we know and loved by Wizkid, Davido, and Wale Cole. Think of Wizkid's One Dance with Dre. In 2016, he was the first Nigerian artist to top the US Billboard Hot 100. No longer Ojuelegba bound, but a global force. Yesterday, I heard somebody blast Fetty Wap in their car. I felt a tingling sensation. Whether you listen to those or something else, 2016 felt great because there wasn't just something for the white community, there wasn't just something for the Black community, there wasn't just something for the brown community, there was something we could all enjoy. It was always time to dance. Universally, everyone was doing the same thing. The dances and challenges, Juju on that beat, the dab, Dilo shuffle, Millie rock, sexy walk, hit the quan, hit the folks, running man. Girl, think of how these were accessible for everybody to copy, imitate, and share with friends. It felt like we were all living in the same house. Everyone was able to have the same lived experience across nations. And honestly, the last time that felt like that truly was lockdown. Taking it back to the Black community, people were knowing the Shoki and the Al-Qaeda, as in these African dances, were now being grouped with popular dances and challenges, and it was no longer just an African thing. Even for sports, guys, we had the Rio 2016 Olympics. Everybody remembers that. Usain got his 3 for 3. Simone Biles said, "Hello, I'm that girl." Kobe Bryant retired. LeBron led his team to their first NBA in 52 years. And Colin took the knee during the national anthem. Let's talk celeb culture. 2016 was the midpoint between celebs and, well, us. Before influencers were influencers, we had people we could look up to because they could dance and sing, and they had the boldness to share it even though they weren't a Beyonce or a Kylie Jenner. There was a comfort in seeing somebody online who looked and felt more, like us. People started with interest first. Jackie Aina was doing makeup. Mr. Beast was just doing his videos. Bloggers were blogging. There was no definition or label to who they were, so we couldn't put them in a box like we do now. Ever think of how the guys doing like Musically, they felt so cool, we loved it back then, but now the negative connotation that comes to the word influencer, it just brings like this instant eye roll. But it's like those influencers now are what they were back then, but we loved it back then. But now it's like, ugh, influencer. Even the term blogger feels more positive. Labels can be dangerous. Labels can be divisive. Somewhere along the line, people who felt closer to us were too polished, looking for fandom over community. And a cold shoulder grew in, I guess, the social media space. We did the world dirty by telling everybody that they could be an influencer, that content is the future, that's where the money is. If you push people online without a reason to be there, they don't know what to do with themselves. So they copy or perform or burn out. Now there's pressures. Now hobbies have become careers. Fun has become routine. The desire to film yourself is human, but if you turn that into a career too quickly, it can damage a first love that you wish you would have protected. There was no pressure to become that person, that Musically person, that person on Instagram, but you just wanted to walk with them on their path whilst you found your path. Less pressure to copy their path or become an influencer and thus competing with everyone. Competing in an industry that you probably don't even know if you're meant to be in, and it's like There's so many other things in the world that we have interests in that if we only was to go out there and explore. Not everybody's calling is on social media. Everything was just less polished, less optimized, less anxiety inducing. If 2026 is really the new 2016, it's not necessarily about recreating the past, but reclaiming the feeling. Maybe 2026 is about saying yes to live experiences, to concerts, community, being in rooms with people. Less of the, oh, like, is this worth the money? Because rarely can you quantify a live concert experience and decide whether it's worth it before you've even gone, before it's even happened. Just go and have some fun. Go and have some fun, mate. Oh, gosh. What else could 2026 be about? The raw and the candid moments. What I love about this whole post like it's 2016 trend is that it's not a whole like look at me now, like 2016 versus 2026. It's just 2016. No matter how bad we looked or how horrible our eyebrows were, or how bright our harachis and our bodycon dress were, or how bad our winged eyeliner was. It's not about how you looked. It's just about you being there. You were there. What did we do when there was no close friends and there was no private stories? We posted the same moments. We posted them on our mains. We posted them mindlessly, carelessly, because that's what we felt in the moment. Now it's a whole like, oh, is this okay to put on my main? I remember that. Oh my gosh. Especially when I was back on Snapchat. Is this okay to put on my main? It's like, but we were doing that. And this isn't bashing, like, private stories and close friends, great, phenomenons. But in a way, has it taken away our ability to be less polished online? Okay, so what do we actually do with this feeling? We give ourselves permission to share, permission to try without performance. Success is rarely built under a polished guise. Our favorites that we see participating in these trends, they started with authenticity to get to the place of freedom and finance and whatever it is that they have right now. If you're forgetting, by the way, 2016 was a year of simultaneously having that carefree fun and freedom, but also a very tumultuous political climate. Maybe your tumultuous climate is now your job, the responsibilities you have, the relationships, the kids, finances, whatever it is. And you need to balance that childlike nature towards fun, or revisit a hobby for fun and not for money. So what are 5 things that you can do? Number 1, you can say yes to things without calculating the return. Go to a concert alone. Try a new class without knowing if you're going to be good at it. If you can't measure the outcome, it doesn't mean that it has no value. Keep posting imperfect moments. Cringe may not be real. It may just be somebody's insecurity. Loosen your grip on what you need to be. We all don't have something that we thought we would have in our 20s right now. But life is messy, so let's live our unpolished lives together. Evolving both naturally and intentionally is the best way to optimize your days. As I've grown, I've seen so many physical and thought patterns fall off naturally just by the nature of growth, but also by the intentional environments that I've put myself in or taken myself out of. Have at least one hobby offline, something that doesn't need documentation or that will force you out of the pit of perfectionism. And finally, community without the networking. Both are necessary because we're in a new era after all, and we can't ignore that. But don't miss an opportunity for friendship because of branding. And I'll end by saying, let's have a long summer this 2026, because I remember 2016 being a long summer, so I want to have another long summer. So how old were you in 2016 and what do you miss the most about it?